And good evening, everybody. It is Thursday night, and it's another edition of Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. And look who decided to join me again this week. It is my co-host and good friend, Mr. Ryan Hoagland, chairman of the board, Barbecue, Blackstone, and Beer.
Yes.
Page, group, YouTube, the whole TikTok.
Come on, guys, tap the screen. Anyways, welcome back. It's good to be back. I was gone last week. I stopped in for a little bit last week, kind of.
Oh, you stopped in. You
stopped in and made yourself known. I don't know what happened.
You made yourself known.
It was good live podcast.
So it was good live. It was good live fun. Yes. And if anybody didn't watch last week, Ryan came in. He was over there in Utah at Blackstone headquarters, and he came in this shout and said hi. And then he said, "All right, everybody, I gotta go." And then he left. And then lo and behold, somehow fat fingered or whatever it was, somehow he ended up ending the whole show, and we had to do a quick little reboot and get back on live with Sonny and Michelle, and we did that. So that was last week. So, and this is this week, and kind of excited for this week, Ryan. We have on here, probably one of the most famous people in barbecue. I guess he's done just about everything. So we're gonna talk to him about just about whatever comes up, and
I'm just like, our show is like the people that we get on here. I'm just dumbfounded on how it happens. I don't know, but I mean, it's just been amazing. So without further ado, the man himself, Mr. Harry Soo. Harry, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Steven.
Harry has been gracious enough to come on the show. He is surviving the traffic out there in California. So he's graciously pulled over to the side so that he can talk to us, because traffic was not going to allow him to be there on time. So, well, thank you for doing that. That's kind of nice that you were, you pulled over for this show.
My pleasure. And always happy to chat with like-minded, crazy individuals who like to sit around a fire and watch a piece of meat cook for hours and hours.
Well, like to eat it more than cook it, but yeah. But anyway, so Harry, you've been doing this for quite a long time, and take us back to the beginning. Then, what got you into barbecue? Was it strictly barbecue, or was it just cooking in general? But what got you? What inspired you?
Well, the journey starts a while ago. I started with me losing my job. So I used to fly airplanes for a living, and I lost my job back in the 80s when there was an oil crisis. So you may be a little younger to remember there was a time in the world where you would buy gas on even and odd days because there was an oil crisis.
I remember that.
I had a hard lesson in life about, we call it accounting theory, LIFO, called LIFO, last in, first out. So I got tossed out flying airplanes for Singapore Airlines, and I ended up in Texas Tech to study a brand new profession. And I had no idea there was something called computers back in the 80s. And I told myself, well, let me try a profession and a career that might not be subject to any future oil crisis. And I ended up at Texas Tech and as an international student. And one of the very first weeks of my class one of my classmates took me out to have brisket. And I took one bite of that Texas brisket, and I realized, oh my God, where have you been all my life? And I really had no idea that my barbecue was any good, because I would be a tinkerer to try to recreate that wonderful flavor, because it wasn't like my grandpa taught my pa taught me how to cook barbecue. I was just a new student in America. So I would cook barbecue by way of a computer hacker. And computer hackers break systems using a method called brute force attack, where you try every single combination. So I figured that I was a computer hacker. I could figure this out. So I would take a piece of meat and I would cook it with salt and pepper, and I'll write the results down. Kind of like, you have a gym locker, you have 000, 001, 002. Before you hit 999, the gym locker is going to open. So I use the same approach, and I would cook all these different meats and try different ingredients to kind of unlock the mystery of barbecue. And I never thought anything about it until 30 years later, when there was a movie called The Bucket List. By the time I was a computer professional, I was building data centers for 20 million people, 300 cities with my team. And one of my coworkers came to work and said, "Hey guys, I saw a great movie over the weekend. It was Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson called The Bucket List." And my coworker challenged all of us to a bucket list. And then she suggested, let's write stretch goals for each other. So they said, Harry, you are the nerd, and you are the introvert. So we'll give you a couple of stretch goals. The first stretch goal would be you have to take a stand-up comedy class and do stand-up comedy, because that would absolutely terrify me. And then the second thing they said was that I used to bring barbecue in to work, and everybody liked it, and they say, yeah, you should go enter a barbecue contest like the one you see on TV where they turn in the entries on those white styrofoam boxes. So I say, yeah. And I forgot about the bucket list meeting. And about a month later, I got invited back to a status meeting, and I was scolded for not acting on my bucket list. So I finally decided, okay, I'll just do one contest to get you off my back. And I filled in the application form for a contest in Palm Springs, California. And I brought in the application form to work and showed it to all my coworkers. I was so proud. I said, hey, look, I have an application form here. I'm just going to do one contest to get you guys off my back just for fun as a bucket list. And they asked me, what did I call the team name on the application form? I say, oh, well, I called it after the movie, Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson, The Bucket List. So my coworker said, no, that's a boring name. Let's come up with a fun name for your team. And I said, why not? I'm never going to use the name again. So any name you want to come with, my team name is fine. So apparently in the South, when you eat something you really like, you want to slap somebody. So since I'm a daddy, they say, call it Slap Yo Daddy. And I said, that is the stupidest name I can think of on earth. But just to humor you, and I'm going to use it only one time, I wrote down Slap Yo Daddy on that application form. And I went to my very first contest, had no idea what I was doing. I packed my entire kitchen in my little minivan, brought my little Weber Smoky Mountain to a contest, and all these are pros. So I had no idea what I was doing. I was asking around my neighbors, kind of like, what do I do? What do I do with the white styrofoam box? What is that parsley thing that you have on it? And lo and behold, long story short, I ended up winning the contest, just like that. Wow. Totally dumb luck, fish out of water story.
Yeah, wow, well, that's you know what they say sometimes when you win that first one, that hooks you into winning getting you involved in all the other competitions and everything else. So
it's like a drug, right? So that thrill, that adrenaline rush when you get your name gets announced at 5:00 on a Saturday and you go on stage and they give you the BATs, the big ass trophies and a nice check. And I kind of got into barbecue, and I pulled on my BFF to go with me to cook. And about a year later, by accident, I ended up on a TV show. And I was at a contest, a KCBS contest. And at 12:25, my cell phone rings. And I thought, who is calling me on a Saturday at 12:25? Don't they know I'm in the middle of my rib entry? Ribs are due at 12:30. So I picked up the phone and said, hello. And the other person said, hi, my name is John. I'm a TV producer. So I said, yeah. And I hung up. Because I figured it's one of my competitors pranking me, trying to get me DQ'd on my rib entry. And on the drive home from Northern California, it's a 6-hour drive. I told my partner, I said, I had a dream in the middle of the contest on Saturday. Some person called me saying that they were a TV producer. So I picked up my phone and I looked at the call ID and I said, oops, that call really did happen. It wasn't a dream. So I picked up the phone and I called John back, and he was such a personable guy, and he told me he wanted to put me on a TV show. And I thought that was a joke until on Monday morning, FedEx sent a pile of paper that thick, which was the contract from Discovery Channel. So I went back to my coworkers and scolded them. Look what you guys did. You got me on a bucket list, and some guy wants to put me on TV. I have no idea what to do. I've never been on TV. I wouldn't know what to do. And my coworkers say something very important to me, which I want to share with your viewers. She said, what is the worst that can happen to you, Harry? You go on national TV and you make a total fool of yourself. Nobody will care. Nobody will know who you are, but it's a great experience because in life, you have to learn to be uncomfortable. You're not growing. You're not learning. You're comfortable. So I took that as kind of a message from her, and I decided, nobody knows who I am. Why don't I just go on the show, just cross off another bucket list that I ended up on a TV show. I did not know they would have 3 world champions on the show. Tuffy, Byron, Johnny Trigg, Leanne, and everyone, right? If I had known I would be on a basketball reality show with Steph and LeBron, I would have run for the hills.
Yeah, right.
Well, so when I got on the show, the first thing they say is, Harry who? Where is he from? He's from California. What does he know how to cook? Only tofu and artichokes. So I meet Leanne now, who uttered that famous phrase regularly on the circuit because we are both master judges. So now when I see her, I tell her, hey, guess what? On my rub products, I have my rub is recommended to use on tofu. So thanks to her.
Well, how did you go from being an introvert to on TV and what kind of a transition was that? I mean,
it's a hard transition because I'm the guy that you keep in the back room. I work with computers and I build systems, and I am a humble government servant, toiling around invisibly for 30 over years before I retired a couple of years ago. And my job was to basically ensure that the water is delivered to 20 million people, 300 cities. And my team and I, we built all the infrastructure because, as you're probably aware, right, water is delivered using computers. There's very little human being involved. It's all done by computers and machinery, pipes, and equipment. So I did that for a long time, and I realized through the bucket list process and being put on TV is that going back to what I said earlier is like, if you're comfortable in life, you're not learning. So I changed my approach and say, whatever is difficult, whatever is uncomfortable, I'll embrace it. For example, for the comedy routine, I offered to help my coworker who wanted to enter the company talent contest. And she is African American, and she is a fabulous, terrific singer, and she was going to perform Gladys Knight and the Pips. And she needed a pip. Okay. So she got me an afro, and I got a red tie and a jacket, and I cannot dance, but she brought in 3 pips, another 2 coworkers, and she would teach us how to do Gladys Knight and the Pips as backup dancers in the conference room during lunch hour. And long story short, we entered the company talent contest. We brought the house down because the audience was laughing at the backup dancers while admiring her singing. So unbeknownst to me, a coworker surreptitiously recorded the entire event on their phone. And to show how much progress I've made, I posted that video on my website. So if you go to my website on the About page, you'll see that video of me trying to be one of the Pips.
Oh, there you go, Ryan. There's your search. There's your
I'm
search.
I'm already looking for this.
We're looking
so
for
you
it.
go to the homepage and you scroll to the bottom. There's an About page, and then there is a video. And if you can figure out how to play the video, you can show the audience a little snippet of Harry coming out of his shell. And everybody laughed at us. So my coworkers allowed me to use that as the comedy routine. So I didn't have to take a stand-up comedy class. I did the comedy part during the company talent show.
Oh, that's damn. Well, I just mean that I never knew that because I mean, you did the talent show, you do the barbecue thing, and then you obviously you do tons of classes, and you're always on TV, or I see your videos pop up all the time, and it's kind of I never would have ever guessed that at one point you were that quiet, hide in the back type of person, because your personality always comes out as being very not forward, but being more extroverted than inverted. So that's kind of a neat journey, and just in itself.
I always tell people that you just somehow got to follow the direction in life, and do things that you'd never think you could do. I mean, like when I started this YouTube thing, it was also another accident because I'm an accidental pitmaster, and now I'm an accidental online YouTube person. Because one of my students in my class said, Harry, your knives are really dull that you're using to teach your class with. Would you like me to teach you how to sharpen knives? I have a knife sharpening channel. I say, oh, what's that? I say, well, I'm on YouTube and I'm known as Perfection, where I teach people how to sharpen knives. Would you like me to teach you how to sharpen knives? So I brought my knives over to Ricky Tran's home, and he taught me how to sharpen knives. And he says, do you mind if I turn on the cameras? I say, what for? See, I'm going to record me teaching you how to sharpen knives. I say, who wants to watch 2 guys sharpening knives for 2 hours. Well, apparently 50,000 people watched her sharpen knives. So he said, why don't you just put some of your videos online? I said, who wants to watch me cook food? I mean, that's super boring. Brisket takes a long time. He said, no, just put it online and see what happens. So I took some of my really primitive, very badly made videos and I put them online. Now I have a couple 100,000 subscribers. It's pretty crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, just to let you know, Ryan, he had 50,000 people watching him sharpen a knife, and we're lucky if we get 15.
We're two right now. I was gonna say, Harry, you were talking about dressing up as Gladys Knight and the Pips and everything, and I did happen to go through some pictures, and it looks to me like you like to dress up in costumes.
Well, I think that that is part of the fun, right? You can't take somebody seriously if they show up as Fred Flintstone and they're cooking ribs. I mean, come on, life is brief. Live it with intensity. That's what I think that people should remember. You and I know of people who didn't make it. They didn't wake up this morning. And people shouldn't take anything for granted. I encounter a lot of people in life, and I notice that the people that I meet are unhappy. They're unhappy for a very simple reason. They don't understand that the happiness does not begin with happiness. Happiness essentially begins with something called gratitude. Because when you're grateful, then the second step after that is you can be thankful. And then after you're thankful, then you can be happy. So happiness is the 3-step process. And people who are not happy, they don't know how to be thankful because they don't know how to be grateful. In my journey around the world cooking barbecue, I've seen that firsthand. So I always tell people, if you want to be happy, just learn to be grateful, and then you be thankful, and then you'll be happy. And there's nothing more makes me happier than cooking barbecue and, getting that meat, fire, and smoke. It's hard to explain this phenomena, but I think that you, me, and everybody watching your podcast understand that Neanderthal magic that comes with cooking meat over fire. Most people don't understand that. Some people can go to the mall and shop all day. Some people need to have 100 pairs of shoes. But I think that having some smoked meat and fire makes us all happy.
Like my good buddy Johnny here says, dinosaur steaks.
Yeah.
And then we got Craig Carter stopped in for a second. I don't know if he's still here, but he says Harry Soo is amazing. Craig Carter, the party starter.
Craig Carter, the party starter with Aces Wild.
Yes.
So where's the most unique place you've gone and cooked at barbecues? And I know you do get all over, but where's the most interesting or unusual place you would say in your journeys that you've stopped and actually cooked barbecue?
I think what I can say is that I am just blown away by the diversity in barbecue, because everywhere I go around the world, whether it's African bride, it's Mexican style barbecue, cooking on the frame, cooking satay in Singapore, cooking in Tasmania, cooking in Australia, cooking in Ireland, cooking in Germany. I have been there firsthand to see the diversity of the styles of barbecue. And what I now can tell you with firsthand experience is that I'm a lifelong student of barbecue, because the more I learn about barbecue, the more I realize I know nothing. Tootsie Tomanes in Snow's Barbecue with a shovel can cook much better barbecue than I can. So I'm always humbled by people around the world who cook barbecue in their own special, unique way that brings joy and love to the people around them. So that's kind of like what I've learned in my journey, that in barbecue, it's important to be inclusive, not to be exclusive. I think that being online, and I get a lot of comments every day that I answer, and I'm always, taken aback by sometimes in barbecue, everything is a 3-hour argument in Jerry Springer fist fight. And, rather than focus on whether the fat cap is up or fat down, we should all focus on the joy that barbecues brings to the communities, to relationships, to friends, and to family. It gives us a purpose for what life could be.
Yeah, that's kind of. Before the show, we were talking about Famous Dave, and that was kind of his mantra is we need to stop choosing, which barbecue's right and which barbecue's wrong. As long as it brings people together and the person's happy cooking it and they're doing it, having fun doing it, and everybody enjoys it and has a good time, then it's good barbecue. And I think that's true. I think just getting together sometimes it's the journey is almost a reward sometimes. You know what I mean?
Dave Anderson is a phenomenal human being, and he's kind, he's humility, tremendously experienced, and just a good soul human being. And I'm privileged to have known Dave for quite a few years, and it began in my backyard. I was teaching a barbecue class, and he attended, and I didn't know who he was because I was new into barbecue. I was doing my barbecue class, and all I knew was that there was a gentleman from Minnesota who was in my class. So I thought, oh, he's just a snowbird, escaping the cold, come to Southern California, be in my class. And when I found out who he was, it was so embarrassing because at the end of my barbecue class, I hand my students a certificate of completion. Yeah. And it's like me giving a certificate on how to fry chicken to Colonel Sanders. But Dave was so kind, and he said, "Hey, Harry, I really love your teaching of barbecue and your spreading of barbecue love and barbecue wisdom. May I invite you to one of my restaurants?" And I said, "Wow, sure." I think he has like 300 Famous Dave's restaurant. So we ended up going to a local restaurant after the class, and we both showed up and walked into the restaurant. And he went up to the hostess and said, "Can we get a table for two?" So the hostess kindly handed him the pager. And he said, "Sir, there'll be an hour wait." So Dave was so kind. He took the pager, and he and I sat in the waiting area. And then all of a sudden, I think the hostess realized that it was his face on all of the picture on the wall. So I think she ran back to tell the manager that, "Oh my God, Famous Dave's is here in flesh." So needless to say, we got a table and we got a seat very soon. And then Dave ordered everything on the menu. We could not possibly eat all their food, but he is just a great storyteller and a great human being to share the story of his journey and how he uses barbecue to help people, to help other people, and help Native Americans. And just a genuine human being. I have the privilege of actually perhaps hanging out with Dave. I'm heading to El Paso tomorrow. I'm one of the master judges for the World Food Championship on the Famous Dave's, the Barbecue Star Series. So I'll be in El Paso judging the contest on Saturday. So I hope I can see Dave there and we can hang out and kind of shoot the breeze and talk about good times. The other second thing that I've done with Dave Anderson is that I visited him in Minnesota at his home, at his cabin. And I'm probably one of the very few individuals that have been allowed to cook on his aquarium smoker. So for those of you that haven't heard, Famous Dave Anderson has a special custom-built aquarium, stainless steel and glass smoker. I believe it's the only one that I've ever seen where you imagine like an aquarium, I think maybe 5 feet by 3 feet in size, about the height of a human being, with glass around it and stainless steel. And the pit is right in the middle, so it's a direct fire pit. He let me cook on it, and if you go to my channel, you see, if you type in Famous Dave on the search on my YouTube channel, you'll see me cooking on his aquarium smoker. How cool is that? That a legend like Famous Dave will allow somebody like me to visit him and cook on his smoker.
Yeah, well, he did. When he was on the show, he did talk a lot about the aquarium smoker. And when you guys are together tomorrow, you can shoot the breeze about how great of a time you had on this show. Because I mean, it's got to be. I'm sure Dave remembers it like it was yesterday. But Ryan and I actually, to be honest with you, we brought it up when Dave talked about it. We did a barbecue love stop. That's a little thing we do where we kind of get together and just meet up at restaurants to kind of help out, spending money at a restaurant and eating. One of the places we went to was Honey Bay's barbecue, and he actually still cooks his food on an aquarium smoker. So Ryan and I got to see it firsthand, and it is a kind of a very unusual looking things, but that's.
Speaking of neat looking things, I mean, since you told me to look for it, I was able to find it. So I'm gonna throw this up here and. Let me see.
Let me close my eyes.
Let's see if we can get this to work, I guess.
Too painful to watch.
Drum roll, please. Here comes.
I fast forwarded a little bit because I think this was a pretty good part where you came out walking here, but let's see.
Yeah, I guess if that doesn't bring you out of your shell, nothing will, I guess. But wow.
I was able to find it a little faster than I thought I was going to, but yeah, you got some moves there, Harry.
So the lesson in life is, again, what I said earlier, life is brief, live with intensity. Don't could have, don't would have, don't should have. Just go out and do it. More recently, I, on a spur of the moment, flew to Arkansas, got into a rental car to chase the eclipse. And when I found an empty spot where the sky was clear, I whipped up my grill, which I carry in my backpack, and I cooked the steak underneath the eclipse. How cool is that? Wow. I seared my steak in exactly 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm gonna post that video, and people who saw me chasing the eclipse, some of my friends like T. Roy and Smith and so on, they told me, Harry, when is the next eclipse? Because we are going to do these crazy things with you. And I told them the next eclipse will happen in 2033 in March across the U.S. territory. It's going to happen in Alaska, near Nome, Alaska, where the Iditarod starts. So now I'm going to round up a bunch of pitmasters. We're going to go out to Alaska in 2033, and we're going to set up our steaks, and we're going to cook it underneath the eclipse.
Oh, write my name down, because I think that would be fun. I'd even cook a steak just to do that.
So we all decided that we would use 2033 as a reminder for all of us to stay healthy, to stay alive. So that in 2033, we're all going to go to Alaska, because we have to be in tip-top shape, because that is not how should I say, it's a kind of a rural area. So we probably have to hike our way in or something, so we got to get ready, and we're going to cook that steak underneath the eclipse.
That's awesome. I mean, sitting here listening to you, I mean, we're only, halfway through the show here, and you talk about Dave Anderson. We had him on the show, and I mean, the philosophy that you guys just come out with is just, it's very inspiring. I mean, it's not only just barbecue, but, the no should have, no could have, no would have. I mean, I've never heard anybody say that. And I mean, you sit here and think about it, and you're like, that's a great way to think about things. Like, I wish I would have. Well, you should have done it then, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too many people wait too long. That was what actually triggered me to retire from my day job. So I spent 30 years of my life being a public servant, taking care of people. And I realized that I wasn't taking care of myself. I raised 2 kids. I lost my wife to cancer. With my daughter was 3, my son was 5. So I've spent my entire life caring for my kids, raising them while doing a full-time job. And I realized that the Greeks have a term, which I learned recently. It's called philautia. Philautia is such an important term because it means, in Greek, self-love. So in life, right, having your self-love, having self-esteem, self-worth, self-respect is so important. And I realized that I spent all my life helping other people, but I didn't really take care of myself. So I kind of had an epiphany when my friend, was in his final stages and dying of cancer. And he said something that completely changed my life. He said, I would give all my millions of dollars away if I could just have one more week of life without pain. And that made me realize that why are we so enslaved to our job and our profession? When at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember you, because after you leave your job in 6 months, they're going to say, who did that? No idea who that person is. But really, life is about creating memories. It's not about buying things, buying assets. Who cares how many trophies I won, or how many pits I have, or how many, things I own. But at the end of the day, it is really the experience of life, is the relationships, is the love that you give and the love that you receive that matters. And I'm just so privileged and blessed that I can go around the world using barbecue as a vehicle to give and receive love. And my life is so joyful now because I can not only make a living, but I can make a difference. And people should try to do more of making a difference because we're so caught up in making a living, we forgot how to make a difference.
Exactly. See, there you go, Ryan. I mean,
Steve, this goes back to another. I think it was with Dave, where I was just kind of like sitting back like this, and I'm just like, I could sit here and listen to these.
Right. I agree.
You know what? Hey, work. Yeah, I quit.
Right. Harry says I'm not supposed to come in today. I'm supposed to take a mental relaxation day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have them call me. I'll masquerade as your therapist. I say, yes, I spoke to Ryan and I did give him the sick, time off today. So please don't bother him. Let him rest.
Right.
Let him spend time with what gives him joy. He needs to fire up his pit, throw on that brisket, and watch over that brisket with love.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for barbecue stopping anywhere, but so had to change gears a little bit. But okay, so you're doing the barbecue. How long did you do the barbecue competition thing, or before you just went off and just decided maybe to do classes or market yourself? And because then I know you got a line of rubs out there too.
Yeah, I think I went through the normal barbecue tradition. People start in barbecue in different ways. Some people start off as chefs. Some people start off at backyard. Some people start as social media influencers. I started my story origin is through competition, through that one show that I watched. Then I ended up competing. I have been an active competitor. I probably have done 400 over 300 contests in my time, but it got to be a point where after you won all the trophies, right, and your garage is full of trophies, what else do you do? Well, what is Act 2? What is Harry 2.0? Harry 1.0 was a competitor. What I did find was I received more joy helping other people become successful. I'm happy when other people are happy because I've been part of their journey. So I did something very radical that when I started posting my videos on YouTube, I get comments back from people. I can't believe that you posted your real recipe online. That the one that you used to win first place USA chicken, first place USA brisket. And I tell them, I give it to you freely because in life, you have to go through 3 phases of life. Phase 1 is when you finish college, when you're 20 years old. So phase 1 is when you're 20 years old to 40 years old. Your job is to learn from as many masters as you can in phase 1, 20 to 40. When you hit age 40 at phase 2, 40 to 60 years old, your job is to take what you learned in phase 1, the first 20 years, and be the best you can be. Be the best father, mother, daughter, engineer, accountant, pitmaster, whatever you want. But when you hit 60 like me in phase 3 till you sunset, your job really is to give everything away because that's how the world works. When Harry gets a bigger slice of love, it doesn't mean that Ryan and Steve get a smaller slice because when Harry gives love, the pie grows much bigger and Ryan and Steve will get bigger pieces. I wish the world would kind of understand that's the truth of the universe, is that when you give, you expand the pie. You're not taking it from other people.
Yeah, I get it. And when did the rubs come about? When did you and the question I always are the rubs you used in competition, or are these flavors that you just like?
I created a lot of flavors during my computer science days, trying to cook Texas style barbecue. And I never knew that those combinations are any good. So until I started to compete, and because I build the rubs using what I call a Lego block principle. I add the different components and I write the results down when I have to finish cooking. And I experiment with different flavors. So I created kind of like a Lego block system, something sweet, something salty, some chili, and some spices. So I built all these flavor profiles to win barbecue competitions. And people said, Harry, can you share some of your secrets? I said, yeah, sure. I'll make some of my rubs and give it to you. So I started giving to my friends. They started winning. And then somebody said, can you go sell some of these rubs? So what is so interesting is that I got a phone call again one day from a guy named David. and he's from Cleveland, Ohio. He said, "Hi, Harry. I saw you on TV. You don't know who I am, but I noticed that you use rubs in your videos, and you use rub while I saw you on TV. I make rubs. Do you have any rubs that you want me to make?" So in just a kind of a handshake and an email and a conversation, David started making my rubs just for fun. And I never imagined that anybody would want to buy my rub, because in those days we sold it in a little plastic bag, like a little ganja bag. And I was amazed that he put it online, and we sold $1,000. In the initial launch, I thought, oh my God, wow, there's such a pent up demand for people who want to cook competition style barbecue but don't know how. So I put those rub online, and they started selling. And when I retired, a lot of my friends and family and fellow competitors told me, "Can you put your rubs out that you used to win?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll put some of the rubs together." And I actually launched them, and now they're spreading around the country. And even more recently, I entered into a private label with Jealous Devil, and Jealous Devil got my rubs into Home Depot. Home Depot tested it on 50 stores, and I just a few weeks ago received indication that they want to expand the test to 100 stores. And if it's past 100 stores, then they may go to 2,400 stores. So, all this is an interesting journey. But what is important to say is that I didn't start barbecue to make money. I started it for philanthropy, because I'm a big supporter of charity. So I use barbecue as philanthropy. I use some of the net proceeds of barbecue to support the charities I'm passionate about, like Operation Barbecue Relief, OBR. When there's a disaster, folks like me will go out and cook and volunteer our time. I support Operation Homefront for the troops, the veterans, and the families. And I support Save the Children Foundation, because every day as we sit here and cook barbecue, 20,000 children around the world die from poverty, neglect, and abuse. So I always told you about how it's important in life to make a living, but make a difference. And I think that each and every one of us has the ability and the power to be able to do that.
I agree. We're kindred spirits, because I am an avid Operation Barbecue Relief volunteer. But I just wanted to say I need to get a little board of little post-its that I can put up of things that have been first said on the show. And ganja bag, I think, is I don't think it's ever been said on the show yet so far. I need to get like a little board where I can keep track of interesting comments that people say.
Yeah, the bags started to leak, right? Because they're just plastic bags. And then people said, "Why don't you put it into a bottle?" And I said, "Fine, I'll put it in the bottle." And then one of my students told me, "Yeah, put your mugshot on it." I said, "No, I do not want to put my mugshot on the bottle." They said, no, that's how you market. They do marketing for major brands. And they said, "No, put your mugshot." So I very, very hesitantly put my mugshot on the label. And I told the artist, make it as small as possible. I don't want to be the main attraction. But that mugshot ended up on the label, and I'm now stuck with it.
You're stuck.
Well, the ganja bags are leaking because you're supposed to lick it and then roll it together. Not that I would know or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God. Catch up on some comments, Ryan. I think we got some questions.
Yeah, we got a couple people in here. We got correction officers for lockdown says, "Harry, have you ever used a pig roasting box?"
La Catachina, yes, I have. Yes, those are fun. Those are fun to use. Those are the what do you call the wooden box that's lined with metal on the inside. You put the coals on top.
Okay.
Those are really fun. That actually came from, I think, Jamaica, somewhere in Caribbean. Some of the Asian Chinese people ended up there, and they wanted to roast the pig, and they created that box, which is a very clever design because it's made of wood, but it won't burn because it's lined with metal. And for folks who have never tried it, you can cook a small hog, maybe about 35 pound to 50 pound in it, and it creates a very crispy skin. So it's like a suckling pig, and you can actually chop the whole thing up and have a bunch of tacos and guacamole and pico de gallo, and then consume the hog, right from the pit itself.
That sounds interesting. And we got Kevin Elson says, "Good afternoon, y'all." We got our good buddy Phil DeRosa says, "Hey guys."
What's up, Phil?
Kevin also says, "I barbecue or smoke with a hasty bake grill, and our flat top is a loco grill." And then our good buddy Mojo says, Ryan and Steve. Also says, "Nice, Harry. It's a good thing."
He's responding to the pig box.
Yes. Oh, now Mojo switched. Now he's over with his grilling and chilling with Mojo. So he's over on.
He's flipping around on it.
Yeah, that's good. But hey, Go ahead, Steve.
No, go ahead, Ryan. I've been asking all the questions, Ryan. It's your turn.
No, it's just, I mean, all the stuff that he's talking about, and I grabbed another one of your main pictures here. It says barbecue is therapy. I mean, and it is. I know I don't do a lot of barbecue anymore. I do a lot more flat top cooking, right? But there's days where I'll be at work and I'll have a bad day and I'll come home and I'll just want to zone out for a little bit. And I go out and start cooking, and all of a sudden it just goes, it is true that it's just like food and cooking is my zen. I love it. If I'm having a bad day, I want to go cook, not worry about anything except for burning the bacon or anything like that. I love it. I just,
Well, I can honestly tell you that the bacon even tastes good burnt.
Namaste. Yes. Yeah. No, I was just looking at some other pictures on here, and I came across that one, and a couple other people that we had on here, and I can reach over here real quick and we can throw out.
Oh yeah, we gotta get up.
You're bad. I'll give you a second. Good old Brad there, and
Yep.
And then we come back here. We're like this, and we're like, hey, we're right with the shed as well.
I think that they're actually next week's guest is Brad and Brooke from the shed. They're next week.
Yeah, ask Brad about the time he and I were both contestants on Food Network, and we were, battling each other on some show.
Okay.
Yeah. What shows up? Were you one of the OGs of Pitmaster, or were?
I've done Pitmaster. I've done.
I didn't do it this time.
Ryan strikes again, everybody. You're just going to have to try and figure out what shows Harry was on. You're going to have to search it for yourself, because I'm assuming Harry's battery probably ran out.
It's a good possibility. Let me get back. We'll get caught up on the comments here while we're waiting. But making good barbecue is definitely therapy.
Totally agree.
Brad is awesome. We'll come if Harry makes it back in here. We don't know what happened if he lost.
Harry, I think, is out in California. I don't know the exact towns, but he could probably answer when we get back. He's out in the California area, so he graciously pulled over so he could. Hope nothing. There wasn't an earthquake or anything. How California is.
Salute for this awesome program. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We're here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central. Yeah. Oh, snap. No.
Yeah, exactly. Well, kind of what you saw with Harry, how he just disappeared like that, was pretty much what happened last week's show. Right at about like the 10-minute mark, all of a sudden, gone, because Ryan decided he was going to go and hang with the guys, and he canceled the show. But we came back on. We had a great show.
I just hit leave. I'm on a computer all the time. I just hit leave. That's all I did, and I don't know what happened. Steve called me later after it was done, but that's what it's all about. But
which click and leave studio shouldn't end the program. You have to hit end stream, but
so I was nowhere anywhere near end stream.
Yeah,
but
no, anyway.
But while I was out there, I was at Blackstone. I was in Utah last week. We did the Griddle Crew 2024 Social Summit. We did our throwdown. Was live, so if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. Unfortunately, we did not win again, but there's always next year. I my
thought
great
sure
partner that I had, Kayla from Aldi Girl. So go look her up on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Aldi Girl, I think it's Aldi Girl _USA. She's making some great stuff. We made a great meal. We cooked some Italian sausage sliders in our throwdown. Okay, here we go. We got.
Thank God Harry's back.
Oh, hey.
Thank God you're back, Harry. We were listening to Ryan's stories about being in Blackstone headquarters.
Sorry about that. What happened is my phone overheated. So I just turned on the engine and I'm running it in front of the air conditioner. So you can see the air conditioner.
Harry, do you have an iPhone?
I have a Samsung. It's an old phone.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've got friends that have iPhones that overheat all the time, so I was gonna make a.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't like it when I run it without the car air conditioning running. So,
Yeah.
but we're back. We're back. Let's pick up from where we stopped off here.
Oh yeah, you were about to list all the shows you've been on. You got as far as Pitmasters, and then you.
Yeah, there was a Smoked and Chopped and a whole bunch of shows. I kind of lost track over the years because sometimes the hardest thing I think is watching yourself on TV. That is the hardest task. I much rather watch a brisket cook than to watch myself on TV.
I would second that. I would second that. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for a camera.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm not. I mean, I got to edit the show every week to post out, so I got to watch myself quite a bit. But it's, but yeah, I would rather watch and eat a brisket than watch myself on TV. I'll give you that much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Even though brisket's my nemesis, but I got to start cooking some more.
Yeah. So what's your if you were going to say, hey, Steve Ryan, come on over, I'm going to make my favorite thing. What is it? What are you cooking?
I would probably cook something international. I am very smitten by barbecue traditions. For example, like in Asia, I just came back from Thermal Works. We did a big soiree for I think 50 social media influencers who were there because Thermal Works was promoting or launching their new wireless thermometer called the RFX. So I was privileged to be able to be one of the folks who cooked the event with Tuffy and Jeremy Yoder from Mad Scientist. And I wanted to do something very different. Jeremy did the brisket, Tuffy did the ribs, but I threw in a Singapore-style satay, which are little kebabs of meat served with a peanut dressing and a pickled cucumber relish. And I also made a Malaysian wedding paella. It's like a kind of a rice dish that you cook for a wedding that has saffron in it to signify royalty and had hard-boiled quail's eggs in it to signify fertility. So I told all the 50 social media influencers that if you eat that paella, you're going to have lots of babies.
Well, Harry, you talk about the satay. I mean, that takes me back. I mean, my father was born in Jakarta, Indonesia. So we get that was every time I would go out and visit my father, that was one meal that we'd always make was the satay, and we'd cut up all the pork and the lamb and whatever else we were cooking and get all the vegetables. And we would sit there and skewer all morning and get it up and get it ready. And the peanut sauce, I mean, that goes to my heart right there. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yep. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you're doing yakitori from Japan, you're doing Indonesian satay, you're making Indian style tandoori, you're making biryani, you're cooking African braai. It is all absolutely amazing. And I always tell people that if you think barbecue is just limited to cooking a brisket, you should just travel the world and see what wonderful forms of barbecue there are out there that you should enjoy before you kick the bucket.
Yeah, right.
Steve, we need to have an international barbecue love tour.
We should do a cook-off. Everybody cook something on Zoom and have a virtual Zoom cook-off, and everybody cook something from, say, your country of origin or your ancestors' country of origin. If you're from Ireland, cook something, do an Irish barbecue. If you're from Germany, cook something from Germany. Because if you study how barbecue is set up, we have been cooking barbecue since Homo sapiens first populated the earth.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you and I are here, that we can talk and walk and have a big brain, because it was barbecue that caused the evolution of our species called Homo sapiens. Because the way the math works is if you eat raw food doesn't have the caloric density for you to grow an organ called a brain. Your brain is only 3% of your body weight, but it consumes about 20 to 25% of all your calories. So the scientists have calculated that if you sat down, you ate raw food every day, you will not be able to gather 2,000 to 2,500 calories to evolve an organ that sucks up so much calories. So it was actually barbecue that released the caloric value of the food that formed our species. So I'm so proud to be able to cook barbecue that it actually helped form my species on Earth.
Huh. Yeah. There you go, Ryan.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The correctional officer said, Harry, that's a great idea to do a Zoom and have everybody cook whatever and show it off. Our last podcast that I wasn't on last week, they did a burger throwdown. So they both did some burgers, even though I canceled the show. That's a whole
yeah. We'll have to invite you to the next one, Harry. You can be invited, and you can join in on the battle. I think it's going to be sometime in November. I think.
Okay, put it on the calendar, and I'll be happy to do that. I think I'm going to be in your area, right? You guys are in the Chicago area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be at the Indianapolis for the World Food Championship finals. So I'll be a master judge there. So maybe if you want, we can hang out and do a barbecue crawl. Are there good barbecue places around Indianapolis?
And in Indianapolis, I have no idea. I don't. I get down there every once in a while, but yeah, that's in November too. Yeah. The World Food. Ryan, we may have to make a road trip.
Yeah, make a road trip, and let's do a crawl, round up a few of your fans and followers, and we'll go do a barbecue crawl.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, that's something to think about. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we can broadcast it live also.
I'm sorry, what?
We can broadcast it live.
Oh yeah, we could do a live barbecue crawl. Do the what's his the correctional officer had a here it is. Yeah, there it is.
So Harry, what's your take on backyard cinder block grills or smokers?
That's fine. I mean, you can build your cinder block pit. I actually helped Jealous Devil cook a hog in the parking lot in Las Vegas on a Home Depot cinder block pit. So just make it about 3 feet by 5 feet. Get some rebar and get some cinder block. Lay a layer of sand at the bottom and stack the cinder blocks into a 3 foot by 5 foot rectangle, about maybe 4 feet high, and then get a piece of plywood, put on top, and put a couple of rebars to put your hog in it. Start the fire on one side, and you have a hog cooker. If you go to my YouTube channel and you Google Home Depot, you see the hog cooker that they built for me in the parking lot in the Mandalay Bay, and I cooked the hog over 2 days, and that was enough to wow the Home Depot executives, such as Jealous Devil. Got a contract to stock Jealous Devil charcoal in Home Depot.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it just goes to show you, Ryan, when you know how to cook, you can cook on anything. I mean, look at Famous Dave the other day. Other shows said he started cooking in a garbage can. That was his smoker. He converted the garbage can into a smoker. If you're good, you can make a good barbecue can come off of anything.
When you go to Famous Dave's restaurant and you order his combo family dinner, it actually is served on a garbage can lid. So for people who've never seen it, that's a story, because Dave Anderson basically cooked using a garbage can because he couldn't afford to buy a pit. That really tells you that's how you learn. You learn from modest equipment. I always tell people, do you need to spend $5,000 on your first pit? No, just go buy something simple like a Weber Smoky Mountain, or even buy a Weber kettle and practice on it and master that. And that same principle can be used on any type of equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, we just did, you're talking about cooking on anything. Like I said, I don't cook on a smoker as much as I used to. So we just did we did a tomahawk steak last week on a griddle, and it came out amazing.
Is that video out there?
It is out there, but there's the tomahawk.
That looks good.
But then the highlight of the show, though, I know we're getting close to our end here, was this bad boy right here. You ever had an ostrich egg?
No, I have not. That's on my bucket list. Where do you find one?
I ordered this from a place in New Mexico, Floix Ostrich Farm, and I had it shipped out to Utah, out to Blackstone headquarters, and we did the tomahawk steak with chimichurri, the egg, and garlic bread to go with it.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was.
How do you cook the egg?
We did it on a griddle. We put the pan right on the griddle and dumped it out into the griddle itself. Or
wait, you need a hacksaw to hack it, or I mean, how do you open the ostrich?
So you have to. I've got the video. I don't have it on here, but I had to take the back of a knife, and I mean the shell itself is very thick.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to take the back of a knife and almost hacksaw at it to chip off the top, and then dump it into a pan to cook it.
Huh.
Wow,
That's interesting, Ryan. I'd like to see you cook that. I mean, but next time you do that, let me know.
No, I did a short little video on it, but yeah, it was definitely fun to do and fun to cook, and some of the people that I got to hang out with and meet and talk to, that was the fun of it. I thought I had a short video of it, but I don't know where it's at here.
You found Harry's video of
I know
him dancing as a pip faster than you can find your own video.
right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I see. Yeah.
There you go. Oh, so it's the back. Okay, I see the back side of the knife. Okay.
Yeah, use the back side of the knife to crack it open, and then it was nerve-wracking. We had everybody else around there sitting there watching us, and then here it is. And then once I get to the point, I just get to peel the top off, and the membrane on there is almost the thickness of a nitrile glove. So I had to take the knife and cut that open before I can open it. But I did have, I was getting watched by Mr.
Bruce. I've met Bruce
even
Mitchell.
More nerve-wracking, having all these people there watching. But it was definitely fun. It was definitely an experience that I'll never forget. And I did it. I didn't should have did it. I didn't should have did it. I could have or would have. But we did it. And we nailed it.
Bruce Mitchell's a neat guy, when we volunteered down in Hammond, Louisiana, for Operation Barbecue Relief, he actually donated 2 whole hogs, and Nick Wolfork cooked them up for everybody, and we kind of had a dinner, and I think he even came to enjoy the dinner with us. But for appreciation for coming and feeding everybody, he donated 2 hogs for the volunteers. So and sat around and talked to everybody, and then actually, as the lights started coming on and we went to the restaurant, we went to Golden Corral, I think it was, for dinner. Obviously, us volunteers living high on the hog, we went to Golden Corral. And behind me, I hear this guy going, "I hope you didn't eat it all," because I was standing in front of the prime rib or with some steak or something like that. And he's like, "I hope you didn't eat it all." And I'm like, "Who's this jerk bothering me at the Golden Corral? I'm from Chicago. Who even knows me?" And I turn around, it's Bruce Mitchell. Him and his wife were at the same Golden Corral eating. So he came in, we had ice, he ate with us and all that other stuff there at the Golden Corral. We didn't even know he was going to be there. So yeah, he's a neat individual too. So it's all the neat people you meet in barbecue. What's the neatest person you'd say you'd met, Harry? I mean, obviously me and Ryan being here, you're a huge star to us. It is neat meeting you. Who would you say, even as a star in all your journey, who probably stands out to most to you and your whole barbecue career that you really were awed by or just learned so much from?
Besides us.
Present company excluded. I've met so many great personalities, and the ones that come to mind are people like Tootsie Tomanes from Snow's Barbecue. When you see her on Netflix and you meet her in person, she's the real thing. Person who is so capable, caring, and a true master of their craft, and completely humble about what they can do. And I think that I look to people like Tootsie for inspiration, people like Dave Anderson for inspiration, even my buddy Tuffy for inspiration. Just genuine, down-to-earth barbecue folks who enjoy nothing more than sharing their passion for barbecue love. I always tell people that in life, right, wherever you do, make sure that you meet 4 important tests. Number 1, do what you love, do what you're good at, do what can make you a living, and do what the world needs. And the world needs more barbecue and barbecue love.
That's somebody I would really love to have on the show. And I think I've tried once. I think I sent a message to Snows to see if Tootsie would be on the show, and I didn't get a response. But I think I'm going to try that. I think she would be.
Yeah, send it to Carrie first. Send it to Carrie or send it to Clay. Clay is the pitmaster who does the brisket. Carrie is the other person you want to reach out to. Tootsie is a little bit hard to reach.
Yeah, I think she would be. I think she'd be fun to talk to. She's been doing it for so long, and yeah. So
yeah, everyone's seen her on Netflix, right?
I don't know if I follow their page. I don't know if I've seen her on Netflix yet, but now I'm going.
Definitely, Netflix did a wonderful feature on her, and I highly recommend everyone go fire up a Netflix account, go search for that video, and watch Tootsie. I think she's my all-time favorite.
I'm gonna have to search that. I probably have seen it on something, but I'm curious if it's the same thing, because I've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, she's the janitor at the school or something like that, and then she's up at 3 o'clock in the morning to tend the pits at the. Just amazing. Amazing. This is an amazing person. Yeah. We got any last minute comments here, Ryan?
Yeah, we do. It said, Ryan, glad it's Harry tonight. A real barbecue legend. No better option than Mr. Harry Soo.
Agreed.
My good buddy Skinner Farm says, what's good, my big bearded friend? Not Steve. This beard.
My beard's under control.
Yeah, Mojo's got to leave. He had to get back to work. What's this? Shows are coming up. Ryan is the biggest person in this community. I mean, in person, along with CJ and Chef Nathan, the same meetup. Yes, great times.
Ryan is the
Chicago barbecue is very special. Rib tips from the Shire is sacred.
Correct.
Yeah,
Ryan's big in the city, but it ain't his barbecue. It's if he stands up, he'll show you his body by barbecue, and that's about the size of that.
Yep. It's all the mustard things I've cooked.
Yeah, right.
Harry, I mean, I know we're sitting up on our hour. I want to thank you so much for pulling over the side of the road and taking some time to hang out with us and, speaking your words of wisdom. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show tonight.
Ryan and Steve, was my pleasure. Anytime, just holler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out for sure. I'm gonna reach out to Joel, and we'll get you on some more shows, because I think there's a lot more things we could cover and talk about, and then we'll make you kind of like a reoccurring guest of wisdom or something. We'll make you something, but it'll be an honorary. We'll send you a shirt or something if we have them.
Yeah, I'll have Joel send you some rub and sauce. Send you some barbecue love that you can try.
Oh, sweet. All right. Well, thank you. I'll reach out to Joel and get him the addresses and everything. And I want one of those Slap Yo Daddy shirts is what I want. I like that shirt you got on there. Well, Harry, the name stuck. It's a great name. It's a famous name. And you had a lot to do with that. And I appreciate you for coming on to the show. And as always, it's the inspirational love from barbecue that it always just amazes me that everybody we've had on, it's almost like a common thread of that kindness and caring and giving back and making sure that the next generation of barbecue knows what they're doing, and everybody's willing to help them to proceed further and enjoy that love that we all love. So thank you for all you do.
What do we say? Barbecue
all right,
is family.
Barbecue is family. See you, Harry.
Thanks, all right, Harry. Guys. Take care.
Take care.
Wow. Mr. Harry Soo. Isn't that amazing? I wish I had knowledge like that. I hope that, Ryan, when I talk, I'm as inspiring as Harry is.
I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Yeah, exactly. You're not listening right. That's why.
Yeah. No,
I always say.
I know we're over our hour, guys, but it's been a great show. Daddy Dutch came in here and says it was a pleasure to see Harry at the American Royal. Harry, it's good to hear of your skills, everything there. We've got a couple other people I think I got caught up on everywhere.
I think we're
correctional officer was saying, something about Habitat for Humanity would be great.
Habitat for Humanity would be a good to cook for the people building the houses and stuff. That would be kind of fun to do too. But I do enough with barbecue relief that I don't know if I can. Right. Maybe if I wasn't working, I mean, if work wouldn't get in the way, I would do more charity stuff.
Yeah. And then I want to throw this one out there since, we're always sharing other podcasts, but possible check out Kenyatta Robinson's Backyard Smoke Master Barbecue podcast on Fridays. yeah, it is a great platform too. So
excellent. If you can't, check it out. It's always fun to check out all the other platforms out there. And as we always forget to do at the beginning of the show, if you can't get a chance, go to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and like It's All About the Barbecue. We can always use the likes and subscribes and all that other stuff because that's what makes the world go round for us. And then the same thing, Barbecue Blackstone and Beer, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you know it. We're all on it. So
yes. I gotta say, look at this egg. Look at the size of that thing.
What, the belly there, or was there?
Well, yeah, that too, man. It's definitely sticking out, but that's all right. I enjoy it.
You earned it. I mean,
we had these shirts made, for the whole story of last year, how Chef Nate came out and he's like, those eggs were perfect 10 minutes ago. So that's why we had to do eggs again this year. But we did have these shirts made. It's kind of hard to see, but it does say Team Egg Redemption. It's got a big egg on there. It says those eggs were perfect. And then on the back, we had to put Chef Nate on there 10 minutes ago. So it was an awesome time. And then again, I know we're meeting Bruce Mitchell was just awesome. I got to get me some of those overalls. And then the other thing we cooked real quick, and then we're going to get out of here, donuts.
Oh, on the oven or on the griddle?
On the Blackstone.
Nice. Those look nice.
They were
Griddles
great.
and Vittles is just showing up.
Oh, hey, Girls and Vittles. How you doing? They were out there. Look at they got their new.
I know. To be honest, I was watching more of their stuff than for some reason, the Barbecue Blacks. I got to go into your group and click on some stuff. I think the algorithms are, they're not throwing your stuff up there too much. I saw some of them. I saw the one where you guys were at the airport and you were jumping in the Great Salt Lake. I saw that one, and then, but I saw a lot of the stuff from Nick and Jay. They did a lot of stuff from there, and it was good. So catch all their stuff too. Go on their pages and like all their stuff too. Spread the love a little bit, like Harry would say. So, all right, buddy, that's it. And you know what? As I was mentioned, I believe next week is. If everything goes according to plan and everything goes, and I'd send them the link today or tomorrow, but I believe next week is Brad and Brooke from the Shed. It's a long overdue recap show. It was supposed to be further back, and then things happened, and we didn't get them on. But they're going to be on. We're going to do a recap of their great win in Memphis in May, and then just what they've been doing since the last time we were on the show. So we'll probably maybe touch on a little bit of how they're hogs to the cause stuff, and then leading up to the Memphis in May win, and then what they've been up to since the last time they were on the show. So great shows coming up. And then we also got Leanne Whippin's going to be on. She's going to be on the show the following week after that. And then I forgot him after that. I know I did sign for the 29th. I'd have Mike Johnson from he owns a bunch of restaurants down there in the St. Louis area, and I think other places. One of them being Sugar Fire. So if you ever heard of Sugar Fire, he is the owners of that. So he will be here on the 29th. I'm missing one in the middle, and I can't think of who it is.
Everybody coming in at the end. Griddles and Vittles. We got our guy Keith on here, gentlemen, right at the end. If you would have came in, if we wouldn't have been talking still, we'd have been gone. You'd have missed the whole show.
Yeah, missed the whole show. So anyway, so that's it.
Yeah. So guys,
so you got any words of wisdom at the end, or do you want me to do the final shout out and then?
No, go right ahead. I mean, Harry dropped enough on us that my 3% of my body, my brain, has soaked up enough calories today.
I need to get some barbecue calories is what I knew. I can't wait. So anyway, so speaking of that, as I did post on the page, and I will say it here. We should probably actually share a photo here so we can bring it up. But the Barbecue Love Wood Tour will be stopping at Beach Avenue Barbecue in Brookfield. It is breakfast, and I think Ryan, unfortunately, I scheduled these things for breakfast so that Ryan can come with, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to make it because I think he's got
soccer tournament coming up. That's it is.
Once again,
what it is.
Once again, he won't be able to get the beautiful disaster, but we'll send pictures and everything. But I hope everybody that's in the area, the Brookfield area, that's hometown for me. That's where I grew up. So hopefully we can get a good crowd to come out to see Juan over there at Beach Avenue Barbecue. Hopefully Juan will be there. I don't know whether he's going to be doing something, but the food's good. So 11 o'clock on August 18th.
Said he just got the notification for the live. That's weird. Huh.
Who knows? StreamYards, I don't know.
All right, guys. It's been fun. Every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central. It's all about the barbecue, Blackstone, and beer barbecue chat. So thanks for hanging out with us for the last 70 minutes with Mr. Harry Soo. What a great show again. So we will see y'all later. See you next week.